Okay, now we're going to take a look at the layers data entry table. Um, the first thing you can do is minimize the ribbon. Just click on the top here and do that. And when you want to return it, you just go back there and untick it. So you minimize the ribbon to give yourself more space capital to work with. And as we've done on the other side, we've already indicated the put in the different kinds of strains we have, so you can then choose. You check and see what kind of birds are in cage line 1. So in your layers spreadsheet, you then put, okay, these ones are brown, these ones are black, and what it does basically is you then check the ages you've put in there, okay, for them as being their point of lay ages. And then it will calculate based on that date that they got in up to the date that is here, and tell you how many weeks since they were at point of lay. Okay, so the age at which they got into the cage, and then it will do the difference, and it will tell you how many weeks have passed since their age at point of lay. Okay, and then it will now tell you how many weeks they've been in lay. So you can also work that out and see if it's correct. Okay, we've tested it a number of times. It's reasonably accurate. Then the next thing is to start making your entries. You need to put in your opening stock for the month. So you do your physical head count and know what the number of birds are in each cage line. 905 birds are here. This is it. These are dummy data. 1,164, 1,059. And then using that record form, let me just quickly take you there to remind you of what it looks like. I have sent you a spreadsheet containing it, which you can print, and your people will make photocopies of it, and then on a daily basis we use it to make entries. Here it is here. It's the farm record form. Okay, so this is where they will make entries every day. Okay, collections, the first collection, second collection. I don't know what times there will be. Hopefully the ones I have, the time I have in the application corresponds with the times you do your collections, and so you put in your quantities and everything, for each of the groups of birds. Okay, I believe what I did here, layers, flocks record, and then these are the rearing pens. This will be for the broilers, I believe. Okay, but like I said, whatever arrangements need to be made for to modify and customize for you to be able to make proper entries, we'll do that. You can always print preview. When you do that, click that button. It will allow you to send this page to the printer. Okay, so go back to the layers sheet. On your system, this application will be faster. This is a very heavily loaded computer, deliberately designed to test the application to its limits. So if we go back here, and then so basically what happens from the production record form, the record form that we just looked at, whatever entries the guys have made for the number of birds that were killed in cage line 1, sorry, that were found dead in cage line 1, you just put in a number, let's say 2. As you do that, you see it drops your closing stock by 3. It calculates your mortality rate, and then of course it uses whatever amount in kilograms. You will enter the quantity of feed fed in kilograms. So for instance, if your bags are 25 kg bags, you will just do 20, you just do the equal sign 25 asterisk, then the number of bags, maybe 10 bags were fed. Okay, and each one is 25 kilograms, so that's 250 kilograms were fed on that day. Just as an example, you know what the size of your bags are, you know what quantities are fed every day. The record sheet would have been indicated that, and then you would then put that into the spreadsheet for the relevant cage line number. And so when you do that, it calculates the number of grams per bird. There's a standard for it. There's a best practice standard. Usually you're not supposed to feed more than 110 grams per bird for laying birds, no matter how happy you are with them. When you're going above that, you're actually wasting feed. Except your feed is inefficient, it's not properly formulated, and therefore it's not balanced, and so doesn't give them all the nutrients they need. That's when you tend to feed more, and then you're wasting money. So that's the idea. So you're able to kind of, on a daily basis, you get the application telling you how many grams you're feeding per bird per cage line. Then you do your collections. First collection, you enter the number of crates, and then if there are any pieces left, you put it there. The computer will do the addition by itself, and it finds crates. If it gets any crates, it will add them up and sort them out into crates and pieces. You don't have to do that. Just put number of crates and pieces you collect in the appropriate columns. And then, like I was telling you when we were on the other interface, for each cage line, if you administer a drug, let's say you administered fowlpox, for instance, vaccine, and then maybe you also had to administer medication, maybe anti-stress, because of the fowlpox vaccine you give to them. You just put that there so that if there is a, for instance, if we go back, you see the hen day percentage here based on the number of eggs that are dropped, okay, and the number of birds, it works based on that. You know the well, I assume you know the calculation. If you don't, the article I sent you the link to has it. Now you have 70.35%. What happens is you monitor that, and those are some things that are plotted in the graphs, and you'll be able to say, okay, these birds are doing well. If you see a drop in hen day percentage over time, you may want to try and see if there was any administration of the vaccine. That tends to sometimes lead to a temporary drop in performance before they pick back up. You know, so farmer needs to understand how to analyze the performance of his or her birds. Then the egg to feed ratio. How many eggs do you get per unit of feed given to the birds? There's a calculation for that. Those are things you and I will talk about. But the point is, the software tells you that, and so enables you to know. For instance, that kind of figure, you want to see how many eggs you are getting per unit of feed fed to the birds. So maybe per bag. Now, when you are doing that, that means you want to see how efficiently your birds are converting feed, okay, into eggs. That's it. For broilers, they will be converting feed into meat or flesh. That's called egg to feed conversion, feed to flesh conversion ratio. That's what we call it. Okay, so and when you just keep going on daily basis like that, what happens is it takes the closing stock from the previous day and makes it the opening stock for each cage line. So you see, we closed with 903 birds on this day, then we came open with 903 here, then we lost 3, and then we closed with 900 and we open with 900. So it keeps going. You don't have to worry your head about that. You just keep entering your mortalities, missing birds, called, transfers, purchases, and all of that. And then your usages, just keep going. And when you keep going, you get to the other side. Eventually, you're able to check the KPI reports. That's the whole idea of this. So even though you're seeing it in terms of numbers, it's not so easy to see the trend. It is when you come to the charts that you really begin to see some sensible, something that gives you an idea of whether or not things are going right or not. You can see, okay, you'll be able to say, oh, okay, what cage line is this? Basically, you have the legend on the other side. Okay, so cage line 2 is the green one. So you come, okay, so this is the green one, you know, and then you do your comparison. Remember that you can always click this button here and send it to the printer. Now, like I told you, this is the one that is not fully automated. This is the one that has some features disabled, but you can send it to the printer. The thing you will not be able to do in this, like I told you, is that you cannot generate for pen 2, you cannot generate for pen 3. So basically what happens is that you cannot generate this report. That's what it just stops here. I just left this one so you can get an idea of what's happening. These ones are calculating. All the others are missing. Now, unless I enable this, it will not calculate. So it's in the second version you are getting that you see the enabled. You see that you have the ability to do that. You can say cage 1, I want to see what's happening. But right now, it just hides the others and shows you the ones you've clicked. Okay. So that's the difference. That's one of the major differences anyway. The same thing applies here. Okay. You are supposed to have the ability to check this. Okay. If you go to the bottom. Sorry, you know, you're supposed to have that's what I'm saying. There are some hidden charts. So in the second version you're getting, you get those exposed. So at the end of the day, what is supposed to happen is you should be able to print out these reports, these charted reports, and sit down and begin to look at, okay, this pen 1, cage line 1, they seem to have a higher mortality than pen 2. And then you ask yourself why. You want to see if somebody's not doing something properly. Maybe some people are not being very hygienic in the way they handle the feeding of the animals or whatever, and that gives you an idea. So you can send this to the printer if you want. Okay, so I'll stop here.